Welcome back to Redlining. How's it going, Richard?
It's going very well. How are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. How's work been? You've been busy again? Everything's ramping back up again with the financial crisis?
I'm working for you, so no.
Ah, fair enough. On the show tonight, we've got someone very special. She's quite new to the scene, but she has been making waves. Please welcome Poppa Jax. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Kia ora, what's good?
Oh, you know, stuff and things and all that. We were just discussing your name. How did you come up? Why Poppa Jax? Because we as Kiwis know what Poppa Jax are. Why did you decide to call yourself that?
Well, my name is Jacqueline, and people always call me Jax.
Yep.
And obviously the chips, the Bluebird chips, have been like an iconic part of my childhood.
Yep.
And I don't know, it just kind of just like, had a ring to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it actually was like my original Instagram name, like when I first joined Instagram.
Yep.
So when I was like thinking of like DJ names and stuff, I had like 3 names. And that was just one that kind of stuck. I feel like because, I don't know, if you see like Poppa Jax on a lineup poster, you wouldn't really think of someone that looks like me. Like you'd think like of a man, maybe like, you know, older, bald head, you know, big guy, knows his stuff. And then you just see this real feminine chick on the deck. You're like, what the hell?
So your reaction is kind of Poppa Jax. And then when you come on, you go, oh.
Can't be curious. What do we got here?
It's pretty funny. Like I think I've gone to a few bars and I'm like, oh, are there any drinks on my tab? Blah, blah, blah. What's your name? I'm like, Poppa Jax. They're like, oh. We're expecting a guy to come through.
Yeah.
No, it's me.
There you go. That surprises them. So, what kind of genre do you play?
I like to play a lot of genres.
Yep.
I think I started with like hip hop and R&B when I was learning, and then I kind of delved into some more like electronic music, more high energy edits. So like, I don't know, I would say like my sound is more like global club.
Yep.
So like basically anything that is quite high energy from all different places of the globe, really. Yep. Like some belly funk, I love that at the moment. And then also I love like some grime and some dub. But yeah, just kind of like when I'm like looking for music, I just kind of listen to what sounds good.
Yep.
Like I'm not actually like looking for a certain genre.
Yeah.
And then when I'm doing my sets, that I just try and marry them all together. Like, how can I go from jungle to this? And okay, I want to end on jungle. How do I get there? Kind of vibes.
That's quite refreshing for a DJ. Some DJs get very stuck in the kind of genres that they play. But if you're like a music lover and you've got, you know, multiple genres that you play, then sort of trying to work out how you can go from this to this and this BPM to this, that's like half the challenge, right? Yeah,
and I think as well, like, with DJing, you kind of have to stay like on top of like trends and like what is kind of popping at the moment. And so I think especially with like TikTok, like, you know, Jersey Club was popping off at the moment, and then you have like some Guam, some Amapiano, and so it's just like always like evolving the music that like we're playing, I guess. Yep. Just trying to stay up to date and everything like that.
What kind of age would you say your fan base is, just out of curiosity?
I would say probably like early 20s to mid 30s.
Yeah, nice. That's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of the like gigs that I play at, it's usually like mid 20s people.
Is that a combination of the music that you play, the style that you have?
Yeah, I think it's also like where I play as well.
Yep.
Like I don't really go too much to like, you know, like the nightclubs where all the younger people are. I'm more playing for like events where, you know, it might be at a bar where like, you know, most people that are maybe over 23 go to, like you wouldn't really catch anyone younger. Yeah. But yeah, it's always different. Like I'll play like Soundsplash, and that was like, I think R16. Yeah. So that was really fun playing for a young crowd.
Oh, okay.
Like not for the first time, but like everyone in the crowd was like super young.
Yeah.
This is
do you have to tone down the tunes for like, you know, explicit lyrics, or don't care?
Nah. I think they love it, eh? I actually was DJing at Soundsplash, and my partner, he was like doing the videography for me.
Oh yeah.
And like I was so hot up on stage, sweating. I took my top off, and I had a bikini on underneath. Yep. And my partner was saying that like this lady and her like took her 2 kids and like we were like, oh my god, so disgusted. You know, like how dare she take her top off? And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I'm literally at a young festival right now.
But I mean, it was 2 years before they turn 18, isn't it? You know, so
yeah.
It's not like you got your boobies out. It's just you know, you'll cover it up. It's
Just
all
a little
good.
bit of cleavage, eh?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. But it's smart what you're doing, though, I think, because you're relatively young, I'm assuming. So you start with a young audience, and that audience will grow and develop with you, and you can develop the next generation underneath them and underneath and underneath, and you become like some of these big DJs now as they're all reaching their 60s, and they pretty much are cross-generational, which wasn't a possibility several generations ago, you know, like back in the 60s, rock and roll music was just for one generation, and now it's just expanded across everything. So
true,
it's my way of doing it.
So I read somewhere, not somewhere, when I was doing some research, that as you were growing up, you had music like Dolly Parton playing in your household and country music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So are these your influences musically?
I think,
or just what your parents listen to?
Yeah, it has like a sentimental value to me. I don't necessarily play a lot of like that music in my sets, but if I ever start producing, I would definitely love to like sample some of those older tunes.
Drop a Jolene in there, eh?
Yeah. I love a bit of Jolene.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really just what, I guess like growing up, listening to so many different genres, it kind of like made me already so open-minded to like everything.
Yeah.
And I know like back in the day, I was like, oh, I'm so over this country music and like, you know, play some hip hop or something. But now it's like, oh.
Was that your family? Was it your parents and stuff into the country?
Yeah, so my grandparents, they're like really heavy into like, my koro was really into like Brother Love. And so you have like all your like Cook Islands, Polynesian music. And then my nana is just like romantic and loves like country music. And so it's just all kind of just mingled into.
Yeah. You got a rural background, or you're a city girl?
Well, I was born in a small town called Te Aomatu.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up a little bit in Te Aomatu, moved to Palmerston North.
That makes you pretty much a rural girl.
Yeah,
a small town girl.
Then I moved to the city when I was like 8 I was going to say 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. When I was 8 o'clock.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, so I grew up in Christchurch from 8, and then I moved to Wellington, and then I moved to Auckland. So I've pretty much majority of my life have been like city girl.
Right.
But I actually live rural now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I live like North Auckland, like Kaupapa. Which is, if you know where Patakai Springs is, or Helensville, it's not far from there. So, yeah, it's good.
I just love the name, Kaupapa. Makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It's just a funny word to say. Anyway, no, it's cool out there. No, it's good. I'd love to go back into the country. But the reason why I was asking that is, you know, you got some country influences and that sort of thing. I just thought maybe it sounds like a small town sort of vibe.
Yeah, it is very much small town vibes.
Yeah.
My grandparents, they live in Te Aomatu in Cambridge. So I guess like it is that small town sound.
Yeah. So you were saying when you started off, you originally just wanted to make some mixes for people.
Yeah, well, we were in the lockdown and, you know, I had done everything. I had been like gaming, playing Minecraft, and then tried to get into painting. And I was just trying to like pick up like some hobbies to, you know, make my time worthwhile. And then, my partner, he actually came home with his uncle's DJ controller. And because I was so like, itching to do something, he already knew the basics because his stepdad has been a DJ. Yeah. So he taught me the basics. I just wanted to make a mix for my birthday and then get on a Zoom call with my friends and showcase it to them because my friends are actually were already DJs. Oh, yeah. And so I was just like, I just want to, like be part of the crew and show you guys what I can do. But yeah, the mix was actually like the mixing was really bad, but like the song selection was good. But yeah, that's pretty much how I started DJing. And then I guess just from like playing the music that I had already played or thrashed too much, it kind of pushed me into like looking for new music. Listening to like genres that I wasn't familiar with, and I think like SoundCloud was a really good like gateway for me because there's so much music on there. And I think when I first was starting to DJ, like I knew the sound of what I wanted to play, but I didn't know what the genre was called. And so like I'd ask my friends like, what genre is this? And they're like, oh, that's tech house. And I searched and I was like, it's not tech house, it's something else. But
So you're just looking for that entertainment. You just want to entertain people, play that music that really entertain. You know, you enjoy playing, but also entertains people, and you just keep jumping along.
Yeah, it kind of just like went from like just wanting to make a mix to wanting to play with my friends and like be included. We went to like a lot of house parties before like like than going to clubs.
Yeah.
Or like we'd go to our friend's event and then our friends would be like, oh, the decks are open, anyone wants to jump on?
Yeah.
I'm like asking all my friends, you guys want to jump on? You want to jump on? They're like, no, we're all right. I'm like, man, if only I could DJ, I would love to jump on right now. But yeah.
So were you much of a clubber before you DJ? You said you did house parties and stuff like that. And a lot of people pick up DJing because they like to go out and listen to music and stuff. So were you much of a clubber beforehand?
I was out, I think when I was like 18, I would go out like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Whoa, stamina.
Sunday, like.
That's a yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I think because I grew up in Christchurch and the earthquakes happened and then town kind of became dead, I think like they had...
Was that pre-earthquake?
I wasn't old enough pre-earthquake to go out, so it was house parties back then. But then when I turned 18, it was like when town just started opening again. And I think everything in the city would close at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And so even with that happening, like so many of the bars had closed down. There wasn't any like hip hop or R&B clubs really. And so I lost my train of thought. It was always like, we'd go to like a club, it'll just be like commercial music, we wouldn't hear what we want to hear, and it was like so trash. So that when I did move to Wellington and when I did move to Auckland, it was like, oh my god, like yay, music that I listen to. But especially when I moved to Auckland, because there's so many like nightclubs, and I kind of found my people as well, people that I share the same like interests in music with. I was just like out at every event, like getting lit with my friends, turning up in the club.
Yeah. So how did your first gig come about?
So I actually was DJing on Twitch with my friend Fine China. And so we'll just like live stream every now and then I posted some of those clips on my Instagram. And then, heaps of people commented like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could DJ. And then just from that one clip, like this girl, her name's Daddy, she like ran a few events at the time. She put me on one of her gigs at like prime time. Oh, wow. And just from doing that gig, I filmed that gig, put it on my Instagram, and then people like, it was just kind of like kept trickling on. Like every gig I'd do, I'd put it on Instagram, or like someone there would see and be like, oh wow, let's put her on our next gig. And so it just kind of got around pretty fast.
So you found actually like promoting yourself through social media has been the way that you've sort of got gigs and been able to sort of progress as a DJ.
Yeah, 100%.
How much do you think, being new, I mean, it's a good question to ask, being a new DJ, how much of the experience is the music you play, and how much of the experience is the character that you are, or not character, but your character, your person, your personality? How much of it is it, you think?
I think... Well, that's a really tricky question.
Anyone can play, not anyone, but a lot of people can play good tunes, but they're just like this. You're not bringing the party, you know what I mean?
I think with me, like from day dot when I started DJing, I always filmed myself. And so that allowed me to like look back and listen back to like my transitions, see what I could change, and like see myself from the crowd's perspective.
Sure.
And so I think definitely when I first started DJing, I was looking really angry and very concentrated and like not really, like I was like had planned all my sets. So I was just okay, next song, okay, I got to drop it at this point, blah, blah, blah.
That's interesting.
And so just from like looking at how my body language is and everything, I'm like, okay, I need to loosen up a little bit. Okay, I need to engage a little bit more with the crowd.
Comes with experience though, eh?
Yeah. I think even though I had like been DJing for like 6 months, like in my bedroom, like I learned so much in just like the first night of just playing a gig. I was like, oh my gosh, what are all these buttons? And But I always like listen back to my stuff, watch my stuff, and then I can be like, oh, okay, I need to.
Well, the one thing being a bedroom DJ doesn't teach you is how to read a crowd. So as soon as you get in front of the crowd, that's how you learn that skill in particular. What they like, what they don't like. If they start to disperse, not to sort of lose your head a little bit and try and find a way of bringing them all back, and that sort of skill sort of takes time to build up.
I definitely, like, in my early days, took, like, everything so personal. Like, oh, someone's leaving the dance floor. Oh, no, I'm so trash. I better play a really good banger next. They're literally just going to the
That's a
toilet,
fundamental New Zealand. That's a Kiwi thing, though. Eh? It's a Kiwi thing to take things like, what the fuck have I done wrong? Shit, and you always like reading things into too much. Sort of comes with the tall poppy thing a little bit. I think people just overanalyze themselves because they're so busy overanalyzing other people.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's
Not
just
saying-
like, I don't know if it's all DJs, but I feel like most DJs, I mean, I don't know, I definitely am like, oh my God, no one's on the dance floor, but everyone's like in the smokers area or something. They're actually enjoying the music, they're just not physically right there.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But it is easy to get into that kind of mindset where you're like, oh my God, what am I doing something wrong? Do they not like the music I'm playing? You know, but I guess it sort of comes with experience, but comes with like having confidence in yourself, confidence in the fact that what you're doing is right. You've just got to also be patient as well. You know, patience is a big thing, rather than going, okay, I've just got to play banger now, just bring them all back. You know, but that's all the skills that you learn, obviously.
Yeah.
So you've in your short. So how long have you actually been DJing?
Gosh, I actually don't know the timeline, but I don't know when the last lockdown was. I think I've been
2 years
DJing
ago? 3 years ago?
20 years ago, wasn't it? Or something?
It feels like it now, eh?
It's about 2 years ago.
I think like 2 years or 2.5 years.
So you've done quite a bit in those 2 years, and you were asked to play at the Sold Out festival.
Yeah.
So where you were DJing in between acts.
Yeah.
So you've got a vlog, and I had a watch of that vlog, which was pretty cool. So how did that come about?
It was actually pretty crazy. I got a message from Sold Out, actually, just DM'd me, and I was like at the laundromat.
They just literally DM'd you?
They literally just DM'd me on Instagram. Okay. And I was like at the laundromat waiting for my washing to dry, just chilling in my car, and I was like, wait, what the hell? Sold Out was happening in like 2 weeks' time at that point.
Yep.
But they emailed me, and I think they thought that I was based in Australia.
Right.
So they're like, hey, we've got some after parties in Brisbane, seeing if you're available, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my gosh, I'd love to come. I've got no plans, but I'm based in New Zealand. And then they just like, oh, well, how would you feel if you were on the lineup for Sold Out? And I was like, oh my God, like screenshot it, send it to all my friends. I'm like, guys, I'm DJing at Sold Out. Yeah. And literally for literally those 2 weeks, like I booked in to go see Kid Koo at Serato because I knew I wanted to, well, obviously I had to mix like R&B and hip hop. Yeah. And I think like mixing with that genre, it's just a lot like easier and cooler to, you know, add a little bit more like scratching and like wordplay and like, just like getting familiar with like the Serato mixes and stuff. So I booked in with him. I think I saw him like twice just practicing on like 3000s and like a S9.
Yep.
And then literally like 5 days, like trying to figure out my songs and everything. Like I was so stressed. But yeah, no, it was such a cool experience. So yeah, it was awesome. I think it was like probably like my first like festival that was, you know, like for like huge artists like hip hop and R&B. Like I've done like some electronic festivals and stuff, but that was like, oh my God, this is the first and this is crazy. And I know like it's kind of a festival that like all like, you know, my people and like my family would go to. And so I was just like, I've got to really like kill it and represent on stage because such a huge opportunity.
Yeah, and you had to battle the elements as well on the first. So you played two, was it? Or you played 2 20-minute sets, is that right?
Yeah, I played 2 20-minute sets in between artists. And the first set, I went out on stage. I think I was playing like for the first 7 minutes and then it started raining.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what do I do? Do I just keep playing? And my laptop is getting rained on. My friends were there and they got like the laptop bag like covering my laptop. And I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, they ended up having to cut that set because it was raining and they took the stage off and I was just like, oh my gosh. But then I had another 20-minute set and I was like, okay, like, I think because I was like really nervous as well, I was like, okay, like, let me just like restart, refresh and then come back and like, you know, really make up for that lost time in that first set.
What was the duration between the 2 sets?
What do you mean?
So what was the gap between like sort of coming off for the first one and then back onto the second one?
I think it was maybe like 40 minutes.
Okay, so you had a bit of time to sort of regather yourself. And,
so
did you have do you had an idea of, like, obviously you knew the lineup, you knew what act was coming out in between the 2 sets. Because like looking at your vlog, like the second one is a little bit more lively. I mean, you got people singing along from the
Yeah.
crowd and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So was that something you had in mind, you knew you were going to do, or you just came out to that segment, right, I'm just going to like go for it?
Yeah, well, I think like when I picked the songs, I tried to pick songs that like everyone would know, I guess. And there is just like one song, like Keisha Cole, Love, like everyone knows the words. It's just like every time it plays, it goes off. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just like, I have to have this song in my set.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just really tried to pick songs that I knew like the crowd would react to or like F with. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. What a great experience that was. Yeah, to play at a festival. That's kind of like.
So where is that festival? I haven't actually heard of it myself.
They had it at Trust Arena.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was such a cool
Another
experience. Like I'd never like been able to be backstage with like artists from like America and all over the world, and having to actually meet them, and then even just being able to be in the part like where the photographers and stuff are.
Yeah.
Like I've never had that experience, and I was just like, wow, like is this what my life could be like? You know?
Sure, a glimpse into the future.
Yeah, I'm literally like 10 meters away from the artist, and then they're walking past me, they're saying hello. I'm like, oh my gosh, so cool. But yeah, I tried really hard not to fangirl.
Yeah.
So just like, yeah, I'm a DJ.
It's a bit hard, isn't it? You know, like, to like fangirl, fanboy, you know, when you sort of like meet someone that you've admired for a long time, or you're sort of put in a situation where you feel, a fish out of water, but something that is relatively new.
Yeah.
You know, thoroughly deserve to be there, obviously, but like,
especially if you're involved with it. Yeah, meeting someone randomly and fangirling, that's fine. But being somewhere where you are one of their not peers, but you know what I mean. You're with them on the same stage. I couldn't
it's a bit like when we go out and people come up to you.
Yeah, totally.
And totally.
Totally. Are you the guy from the NMN? Yeah. Yes, I am. What about it?
That is I.
That is I. Yeah. So what's in store for you? Like, where are you wanting to go? You're early on in your journey. Have you mapped out where you're going to go and where you would like to be?
I definitely want to go overseas next year.
Cool.
I'd love to like touch base in like.
Is this strictly
London.
with music, or is this just going overseas in general?
Oh no, I'd love to like DJ overseas and obviously like see like DJs that I look up to, go to their shows. I have a few friends that live over in London as well, and I've actually never been to London or Europe, but I love like the music that comes from London and even Europe as well. So I think I wouldn't go like only to DJ. I'd go to like experience and like learn and listen to other DJs
But you're riding on the coattails of music, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I definitely want to get out of New Zealand. I just like love to like live overseas for like, I don't know, maybe like 2 months or something, and just like see where it goes, and then come back home and go somewhere else. And
6 years later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just like love to be just like a traveling touring DJ is like the goal.
Yeah. Is DJing a career? So obviously it's a career goal for you. Is it a career at the moment? Is that what you do, or do you have something that you like do as well to bring the money in?
Yeah, so I used to be a nail technician. I used to have my own business, like doing nails from a studio.
Oh, I so thought you meant fucking builder's nails for a second. Seriously, I was like...
Yeah, your face was like, what?
Hey, you worked at Bunnings? No. Right, so you're a nail technician.
Yeah, so I did that for 3 years, and then I think last year in about August, I can't actually... Life is moving so fast, but I think last year, actually in November... I quit doing that and just went doing DJing full time.
Yep.
I think as soon as I left my job, like because I had no other choice but to put all my energy and time into music, it was kind of like, although this is like paying my bills, like the hustle just became a little bit more intense because like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. And that is actually like ever since I did that was probably like the best move that I ever made, because
that's cool.
I got like my first like international DJ opening slot. We toured in Australia for a month, and as soon as I came back from Australia, then it was like summer festival season and Soundsplash and sold out. And so ever since like leaving my job and putting all my energy into the music, that's when it kind of like skyrocketed for me.
It's a difficult thing to do, but that's what a lot of people say. You know, you've just got to like drop everything else, give it a go. Otherwise, you're always going to half-ass it, and then you'll never actually get where you want to go.
Yeah.
So drop everything, give it a nudge, 100%, and it might not work, but at least you gave it like a full year or 6 months or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you can see where you're going to go. Otherwise, you're always just going to be like, not quite. You'll do it for 5 years, but it'll always be half. Or not even that, you know. So cool, good on you. That's awesome.
I don't think there's anything wrong with still having like a job while you DJ as well. But I think like just for me, for doing my job full time and then having to still find the energy to do the DJing stuff, like I was just like so exhausted by the end of my week because I would always make time for music, but like I was just like so run down and dead on Saturday.
How much time do you dedicate to kind of sourcing music, and where do you go to look for new tunes?
So I always watch like live sets on YouTube. So I don't know, I'll be like, oh, this sounds cool. Let me just write down the lyrics and try and find that song or Shazam it. Or a lot of the time it's not on Shazam, but like just kind of keep that in my head. But Bandcamp is a really good one. SoundCloud is good, but Bandcamp's probably like where I get most of my music from. Yeah. I think as well because I'm in a scene with like every one of my friends are DJs. Yeah. And so we all try to find like our sound and our music, and then
so you're not all playing the same stuff.
Yeah, we're not all playing the same stuff. But yeah, even just like movies and I don't know, like going out to a kebab place and they playing music in the background. I'm like, oh, what is this song?
What is this Turkish music? Definitely put this in my set.
Yeah. They play a lot of like reggaeton at the kebab shops in on Quay Street, Key Street? Quay Street.
Key Street.
Key Street, yeah.
Key Street?
Key Street, yeah.
Down the bottom
Found some bangers there.
Yeah.
That's where it's at, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, they usually have like a massive ass speaker like right at the front to draw your attention, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
We should do an event at one of the kebab shops. We should do
Redlining event.
Right, yeah. That'd be cool.
Smoking your shisha and listening to fucking Hard House or something. So if you were to go overseas, what's the dream?
The dream? I guess like just like touring, DJing, headline shows.
Yeah.
Playing with like my favorite DJs. It'll just be pretty much just like gigging, but more on like a bigger scale. Yeah.
Would you follow more predominantly in the hip hop R&B realm, or I know we've discussed that you do other music as well now, but would you like to travel more on that sort of thing, or are you quite open to going in other directions more prominently?
I'd probably want to be more like electronic kind of vibes. That's like my core, what I'm into. I feel like it's easier for me to like express my, I guess like my musicality through that. I have the most fun playing that music.
So what does that break down to? House music? Bassy sort of house music, all sorts of different house music.
Just like high energy, like edits, like Guam, bachata, dembow.
Is it kind of because you recently supported Messi? And like Messi's story is quite an incredible one, obviously.
Oh yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah,
she's so cool.
And now she's playing Glastonbury and touring Europe and doing all sorts. So do you see that as an inspiration?
I see. I think like I can look at her and think like, wow. I don't know. I think it's like really hard it's a lot of hard work for someone to like go viral and then to ride that wave of okay. I'm hot at the moment, let me do this tour, let me do this, let me put out some new tracks. And, like everyone is like, fangirling over her.
But it's holding on to that, hey? Yeah. Otherwise just 15 minutes of fame.
I think she made the most of that opportunity and really like took everything at that prime time. And it's really like paid off for her now.
She's overseas now, eh?
Yeah,
you kind of got to, eh? Like she'd be more appreciated in the Europe.
She is so down to earth, though.
It's annoying. She's so lovely.
So down to earth. And she's got her head screwed on as well. And I think you need that. You need to have. And she's also surrounded herself with good people, good friends, which is really important as well. When you sort of get swept away on a crest that she seemed to have But like she pushed it like by like making the inquiry to start with, you know, and then it's all sort of happened. So, but so the kind of music she plays is kind of high energy electronic stuff, isn't it? You know, lots of cutting stuff in and out and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm really like into like, you know, like tribal like percussion and drums and just like music from different types of cultures.
Yep.
So yeah.
So you also did so this is a little bit out of left field, but you got contacted by JD Sports to do a kind of a fashion shoot. Was it a fashion shoot?
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
It was a campaign for their winter.
Yeah.
Winter.
So you've done modelling before, or was?
No, I haven't done modelling before, but they literally just emailed me. When I got the email, I was like, wait, this can't be real because JD Sports.
So another one, JD Sports, sold out. What's coming next?
We were this time,
Like,
in the car wash.
Redlining contactors come on the podcast. Now I'm up here. Sorry, I digress. So JD Sports, that's cool.
Yeah, so I got an email, and actually like the night before I was watching TikToks about like this girl who got scammed by like some fake Fashion Nova page. Like, hey, we want you to be an influencer. And she ended up paying all this money, blah, blah, blah. So that was in the back of my head. I was like, nah, they're just trying to scam me, like this can't be real. But I like read the email like 10 times and I was like, what the hell? They actually did their research about me as well, which I thought was like, okay, this isn't like any fraudster or anything.
Is that flattering or was it freaky? It was a bit weird.
No, it was like I felt seen, you know, like because it's like, okay, they're not just picking me because I'm pretty or whatever, like, and I'm a DJ, but they actually like went through and like, you know, saw what I've been doing, like running my own events and, you know, all that stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. I actually feel like a little bit seen. So
it's actually a really good lesson in self-promotion, right? If you don't mind me saying that, like the fact that you've since you started DJing, you've documented almost your journey, and it's all out there on Instagram, on your socials. And then, you know, it's sort of paying off. All these companies are coming and noticing you because you've done that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So sorry, carry on with the JD Sports thing.
So they ended up flying me over, and I know like I'm like a person that like I'll always, well, not always take an opportunity, but like if it's like, even though I have no experience in modeling or no experience in modeling at all, I was just like, okay, I've just got to like fake it till I make it. And I feel like that's kind of been like my journey the whole time.
Dude, this whole industry is that. All entertainment is fake it till you make it. And then eventually you'll go, oh fuck, I've made it.
Yeah, so I was just like super nervous. They flew me over to Sydney. We shot, I think it was like a 13-hour shoot, and I was like,
whoa.
Yeah.
Did you get pampered and shit? Did you get cruise around limos?
Well, actually, because when I used to be a nail technician, I used to be like on set and doing people's nails, like the models' nails and stuff. So it was like a really full circle moment for me to be on the other side. And, you know, like when I would be at those photo shoots doing the nails, it's like, man, it must be so nice to get like your hair done, your makeup done, dress up in all these cute clothes. Everyone's, you know, staring at you. And then now I'm in the chair and I'm getting my makeup done. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
You're more appreciative of it though, because you've been behind the camera, so to speak.
Exactly. And that was just like crazy as well, because when I was younger, I think my first job was working in retail as well. I worked in retail for like 8 years, and so also like the fact that another retail company is like wanting to work with me, that was also another moment as well. I was like, wow, like I used to be the girl hanging up the posters and now I'm on the poster. Like,
have you been to JD and seen the stuff that you were in? Like, are you in the shop or?
Yeah, so I'm only in the New Zealand stores. I went to the Hamilton store, and I haven't been to the Sylvia Park one yet because
that's the big one, eh?
Yeah,
it's massive in there, eh?
Yeah. I feel like I know a lot of like the workers there, and then everyone at the mall. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to be seen like with my photo. Like, I think I'm going to go there on Saturday because I'm in that area. But yeah, it was a crazy experience.
That's going to be weird, isn't it? You're going to go there and just stand next to them and just see if anyone notices.
Well, yeah, when I went to the one in Hamilton, because all my family are from Hamilton.
Right.
And I went there with my nana to like surprise her, and it was so funny because there's like a Kiki K plus size store next door. My nana is like plus size.
Yep.
So she's just like obsessing about all the clothes in the plus size store. Like, oh wow, amazing! And I'm like, look, next. You want to see my big face right there? Anyways, we're like starting to walk past, and I was like, oh wow, this is quite a nice store. And she like completely didn't even see my photo, so I had to like point it out. But when I went in, I was like wearing a hoodie and I had my glasses on because I was like, I don't want to be that girl like everyone. It's me.
Yeah, but little do you know, wearing a hoodie and glasses, you stand out even more.
Yeah. But it was funny because my nana was like, oh my God, you know, like she was like almost crying, and the assistant at the front of the store, she's like, oh my God, is everything okay? She's like, that's my granddaughter, she's right there. And I was like, oh no. I was like, yes, it's me.
Yeah.
No.
That's pretty cool though.
You know, it was pretty cool. Cool to see like my family see it as well.
Yeah.
So I think like I think for like the first, anytime I do something new, my family is always like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you know, like I think anyone that's in music, you know, it can be seen as like not a real career, I guess.
What's that, modeling?
No, like DJing.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think, yeah, like even when I DJ'd at Soundsplash, because it was in, where was it? Raglan, yeah. My nana lives in Waikato, so I was like, stopped at her house and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go DJ at a festival. And she's like, oh, so what do you do? Do you like play music for everyone and they come and watch you? Like she couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
So I got some really cool footage. I took it back to her and she was like, oh my God, these people, did they come to see you? Oh, wow.
It's like, what do you do? You play music? Oh, so you just press play and then just fade one down and then the next one comes out. So maybe talk in the middle, I don't know.
Yeah, so I feel like for a while it was like hard to get her to understand like what it is that I do. And then I guess like when she went to the store and she saw my face on the poster, she was like, oh, okay, you're actually doing, wow. How did you do this?
Yeah.
I was like, I've been doing this.
So from a publicity point of view, how much did that give your profile a boost?
Yeah, it gave my profile a huge boost. I think because like JD, I think what's it called? Complex. They did like an article through JD Sports, through like my time with JD Sports, and so I think like once I got the Complex thing on Instagram, like a lot of people were like, oh wow, like she's actually doing something. I don't know. I feel like I've always been doing stuff, but it's kind of like overlooked. And then until like someone or like something with a huge name like says it themselves.
It's like validation.
I was like, I already know I've always been this girl.
Yeah.
But until like someone huge, you know, like say something about you, then they're like, oh, okay, all right. Now we like you because we like this brand. Or I mean, I don't know.
But what's important though is you're still going to earn that.
Yeah.
You're still going to earn that validation. Definitely. You know, a lot of people, especially the later millennials and a lot of Gen Zs, I don't know, because of social media and because they all think that hit is just going to happen. They're just going to get that break. You know, they're going to put up one fucking meme, which is going to get them 1 million views and they'll be off, right? It just doesn't happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you've actually put in the effort. You've picked up some tools. You're using those tools and you're earning your right to be there. And that's what's really cool. Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I think it's like, it's a bad way to look at stuff to like, you know, like only do stuff if it's going to get, you know, a reaction or like, oh, I'm only going to post this to get viral. And now that I'm viral, I'm going to keep going the same route or something.
Yeah. They try to be provocative all the fucking time. And it's like, that's not, you can't do that all the time because A, you'll end up looking like a dork, or B, you'll do it once and that'll be it because it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's really important to like stay true to like who you are, I guess. Like, I think since JD Sports, like I've kind of gone into like an influencer scene now. Like I'm not an influencer, but it'll be like a brand wants me to promote their speaker or like this brand wants me to wear their clothes or, you know, I'm collabing with this for the music awards. I totally lost my train of thought.
You're famous and shit? Cool.
That's basically it, isn't it? Yeah. But I think you kind of, some influencers, they just fall into it, right? So as soon as you sort of get a certain amount of followers or you'll do a big campaign, then, you know, it kind of all follows on from there. Yeah.
Sorry, I think what I was going to say is like to try and, like, even though I'm doing all these things, I'm still trying to keep it relevant to like me and like what my purpose is and, you know, like, you know, I could easily just do like a food campaign and you know, I'm just being a pretty girl cutting some food and come try my food or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think like when those opportunities come up, I think, okay, how can I relate that back to like me?
Yep.
Or, you know.
It's got to be on brand.
Yeah.
To put it in a, you know, commercial sense.
Yeah.
So from the point of brand, did you sort of, how early on did you sort of start recognizing that you needed to develop a brand? Or the Poppa Jax brand, which I guess we'd call it.
It's actually like, it wasn't really a plan to be the brand. It kind of just like happened.
Yep.
And then I think like when I started doing events, and then like, cause my events is called Poppas, like, even though like it is a brand, I don't know, I didn't like plan it to be, it just kind of happened.
What do you mean by that? Like events, are you talking about things you just play at, or do you actually promote your own events? Do you do your own stuff?
Yeah, so I have my own like club night called Poppas.
Yep.
So it's like a monthly club night. We take over like a club or something. We sell tickets. We put on like our favorite DJs, and we always try and do like a 360 kind of stage so that like the crowd is like surrounded.
Yeah.
I feel like you know, like it actually just started from my birthday party. And I was like, I want to throw a party. I want to put all my favorite friends on the lineup, and I want to have a good time. And my birthday party just went crazy. We had it at East Street. It was like the busiest it had ever been.
Yep.
The music was incredible. Everyone was telling me how lit it was. And so I was like, okay, let's just do another one. And then like we'd get like a DJ from Australia to come over, and they're telling us that was their best gig they've ever played in like their 10 years of DJing or whatever. And so like, okay. And then it just kind of became like a monthly thing where like we just put on the hottest DJs, everyone's having a good time. But yeah, then it's like now trickled down into like we have Poppas, which is like, this is like the Super Bowl of like the Poppa events. Then we have like the little side events where it's like we just like take over a club for the night.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it'll be like a free entry, like super calm. Then we can put on other people in the scene, and so
you're giving something back to the scene already, like trying to promote young talent coming through. What kind of clubs do you play at? So the Poppas, do you book for Poppas?
Yeah, so for majority of Poppas, we've played at East Street, and then we tried to do something new. We tried to do a new venue. It's called Nectar in Kingsland. It's like above the Kingsland.
I know Nectar.
It's been around for a while.
For years.
But I feel like I just was like fiending for something new, you know, like because everyone is at East Street every weekend. But we actually didn't sell much tickets for that one. And so we're kind of just going to go back to East Street and just like hire some extra speakers. And then we do Poppas at Ghost Donkey. It's just like that's like our little side free entry one, which
Where's
is like
that?
It's in Commercial Bay.
Oh, okay.
So it's
What's
really
it called, sorry?
Ghost Donkey.
Ghost Donkey.
Is it quite new? I get everything down there.
No, it's actually it's been around for a while, but I think they weren't performing as well for like the earlier start of the year, and so then they reached out to like a few of the people in the community to like host nights there, and now it's popping.
Hey, see what you did there? Clever. What a brand.
Yeah, that's awesome. Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
So what kind of new fresh talent have you seen coming through? Is there a lot of potential coming through? Have you seen a lot of people really enthusiastic for the scene?
Yeah, well, I think because I'm like out all the time, I get to hear like a lot of DJs play, some that I haven't heard play before. And I think because when I'm like picking lineups, I'm trying to keep it like diverse and, you know, not the same people every time. So I'm like on Instagram, like searching up people, looking through their SoundCloud. And I think there's like so many DJs in Auckland at the moment.
Oh my God.
So many. But what's like stands out for me, like for when I'm looking for DJs, is like when they are playing like music, like you can tell that the music that they're playing is like their taste, and like they're like just playing a little bit different to everyone else, or you know, maybe they're playing some genres that not everyone else plays, and I'm like, oh wow, I don't know. But yeah.
So with Poppas, the club, are you sort of like just it's like multi-genre. So you're kind of booking the DJ on their kind of skill, not necessarily on what they play. Obviously, they've got to play good stuff, but it's not like only hip-hop or rap or only electronic music. It's like a mixture of everything.
You can play whatever you want, basically. But, I mean, obviously, like, I think if you've been to the events and stuff, like, you're not going to come and play, like, 180 BPM at, like, 10 PM or something.
Within reason,
Yeah, I think DJs play, like, the best when there is no rules. And because obviously, like, if you're going to get booked for something, you kind of already have an idea of what the event's like, what time you're playing, what kind of vibe you want to play. It's just kind of really up to the DJ to interpret what it is that they will play.
Do you always play at the events as well?
Not really, no. I think I've only played like 2 of my events.
Wow, that's cool.
So
actually,
I think like when it's Poppas, because I'm like running the whole event, I'm like too stressed to think about like playing. But then when we have like the side shows, because it's like me hosting, I have to be on the lineup, but I always put myself like the first 30 minutes or the last 30 minutes.
Wow, that's cool. I'll tell you why, because a lot of DJs put on events just to showcase themselves. And they'll get another few acts on there, but it'll all be about them. But you're obviously doing it because 1, you love the scene, 2, you want to promote other DJs, 3, you love the music.
Yeah, because I feel like I already have enough bookings where I am, in that prime time.
Yeah.
But when it's like comes to like my events, I don't really want to be like the center or like the main slot. Also because I'm too busy trying to run the event. But even so, like sometimes, if it's quiet, then maybe we might close early. So I'll always like take like the last slot so the last DJ doesn't get cancelled. Like, not cancelled, but like kicked off. Or not kicked off, but you know what I mean? Like the bar closes early and they don't get to play.
What's your overall view of, we always like to ask our guests this, because I think it's very relevant at the moment, but what's your overall view of the kind of events industry at the moment, with some venues closing, some venues struggling,
Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate. I think, I mean, everyone's struggling at the moment. It sucks. I don't know. I just know that, like, I think for, like, when we go out to town, like, we only go to, like, events. We don't go to, like, a nightclub on a Saturday just because. Like, we're only going to go out if we know it's, like, a Afrobeats night or it's, like, I don't know, like a filth club night. Or
so you're going somewhere specific, basically.
Yeah, we're going somewhere specifically. Unless it's, like, a Sunday and, it's chill, we just want to go to a bar or something.
What do you think the difference between going out now is to pre-pandemic, pre-COVID? What do you think? Why do you think that the industry is suffering so much now? Than obviously the cost of living crisis doesn't help, but when you do talk to people before pandemic, the scene was a lot healthier. Yeah,
I think like back in those days,
it's only a few years ago, isn't it?
people were going out to a nightclub just to drink and have a good time, and wasn't really like focused too much on the DJ playing. Like I don't remember who was playing at the club. Like I was just going there because I knew the music was always going to be like the same vibe. And now it's like I think after COVID, like Boiler Room's been around for a while, but now you're seeing like, clips of it on TikTok and people, bedroom DJs and DJs are like posting their moments on there. And so it's kind of created a scene now where when people are going out, they're kind of like, not for like every club, but like for where I go to, everyone's like so fixated on the DJ. And like they want to be behind the decks and they want to, hype up and they want to hear a transition. So I feel like that's what the difference is now, or from my perspective, is like, pre-COVID, people were going out, didn't really like take notice of the DJ. They were just, they're having a good time with their friends, listening to good music. And now it's like people are going out for the music and they're going out for the DJ.
People want a reason to go out now because it costs so much.
Exactly.
Right? So people want to know that they're investing their time and their money into something good. And a big part of that is the entertainment they're receiving. So I
think as well, like maybe just like getting older as well, like
Speak
maybe
for yourself.
No, I think like once you like you're not really going to those same clubs that you were when you were 18, and now it's like we're going out because
Yeah, but but I mean, that's kind of us, like the different age groups. But there's always going to be a group of people at the age of 18 to 25, shall we say, going out. So, like when we were that age, it was quite a vibrant, busy scene where we were going out. But it doesn't seem to be that way now, whatever age you are. Or maybe we're just not going to the right places, I don't know. But you know what I mean, right?
No.
So, I mean, even this week I read on Facebook, there was an article about Auckland having sort of patches of busyness, but some parts of Auckland on Saturday night being an absolute ghost town.
Yeah.
No, I don't know because I've only been in this country for 10 years or so, but from what I've heard in the 2000s, Auckland was humming.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It was lit.
Yeah.
I was working in bars back then, for early 2000s. I was working in bars, and it was fucking heaving. Like Saturday morning after a Friday night at 3:00, there was down the viaduct. It was rammed with people just coming out of the clubs, all the bars and all that. There's no clubs anymore.
No.
Like there's no loaded,
clubs.
I don't know if you call Loaded Hog a club, but to that size, Loaded Hog. There was another one, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, Left Field, that's one. These huge places, and they were rammed all the time. And then afterwards, it would just be a flood of people coming out. I haven't seen that in like 15 years, easily 15 years.
Yeah.
But again, these places, I don't know whether they can afford it, but they're just not offering the entertainment anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there used to be some good regular DJs that would play at the same places, and just what you were expecting, and it was like a resident, some resident DJs, and they were pumping. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
But now they'll just put fucking Spotify on in some places. Or they just don't have DJs, or they try to get them in.
Yeah.
But it's just not as entertaining as it used to be. You know, so it's all sort of one track that at the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a bit shite.
Do you find yourself having quite a loyal crowd that come to Poppas? So you see the same faces, or do you see a mixture of like same faces and new faces come through?
Yeah, a bit of the same faces and new faces. It's definitely not like from when I was clubbing. Not from like my peak time in clubbing. It's like everyone now that was in that scene is now like overseas or having kids or. So now it's like definitely like a crowd that I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I think like maybe like 15% of the people, 20% of the people I like regularly come.
You got to get that though. You got to get those regulars. I reckon
definitely.
they're the ones that are the heart and soul of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like we have them for the little gigs that we put on. We have like regulars, and then everyone they bring their people, and you get these other little. When you get that mass, people walking past will say, "Oh, there's something going on in here," So they are the beating soul of any event that you're putting on is those regular people.
Yeah, definitely. Like without a crowd or like without the people, like Poppas wouldn't be. I mean, any event wouldn't be anything without actually having those people there.
Yeah. So moving forward, what's your timeline then? You said you want to go and travel and go abroad and try and find gigs and stuff. So what's your timeline then? Where do you see yourself in the next sort of couple of years?
A couple of years. I think. Well, in a couple of years, I'll be like touring the world, on the big stage, playing at like, huge festivals.
Yeah.
And then doing like little, like cute little intimate gigs like in small towns and New Zealand.
Yeah.
I think my plan for like the next few months is probably gearing up to go maybe to London and Europe.
Yeah.
Maybe in like March next year.
So have you, because obviously festival season's coming up soon.
Yeah.
So a busy time for you, I would have thought.
Yeah, well,
it could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
I haven't got any summer bookings as of yet, but usually like in summertime anyway, I'm always usually pretty full with even just like local gigs.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just, having a good time over summer, DJing. And then I'll probably go overseas in like March or something.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
Well, you got a lot of drive. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've done Australia so much that now it's like, okay, I want to go to a scene where like I know they're gonna love my music. I'm gonna love their music. And I think like Australia is so similar to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like it's
Apart from like 10 times busier.
yeah, bigger clubs and everything, more options. But I think like the music, like here we're still trying to, you know, introduce new sounds and genres to our crowd and kind of build into eventually one day where we can literally just play anything.
Yeah.
But it's still like, you know, playing for a crowd and then playing what you want. But I think, Australia and New Zealand is the same. It's pretty much the same, just bigger. And so that's why I kind of just want to go completely all the way on the other side of the world and just like dive in really.
Do you have any aspirations to produce music?
I do. I want to. It's so hard. It's so confusing. I'm just like, I made like a little beat on Ableton.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, trying to remember all the shortcuts. I know I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
I do make like some quick edits on Serato Studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to make my own music because I feel like there's so much like music within like multiculture that could easily be sampled and turned into something for the club. I'm just like, man, if only I. But yeah, I definitely need to delve into that. I think at the moment I'm still just like working on my skills and my music and I think I'd love to be like, even like if I'm touring and stuff, you know, just on the plane making some beats would be a vibe. But yeah, definitely want to delve into that at one point.
Yeah.
What am I going to do on this 14-hour flight? I think I'll do my next set. How wonderful. Jet set.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. And it sounds like, to me, you've got the personality and the drive to actually do whatever you want to do. So go hard. And we'll be watching you with great interest. And we'll get you back on the show when you return from Ibiza. And we'll find out all the dirty little secrets. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, but thank you very much for coming in. And best of luck with everything. And we'll put all the little bits and pieces down the bottom where they can find you. Actually, before you go, when's your next Poppas gig? Have you got one lined up?
Yes, it's actually, there's one this weekend. It's at Ghost Donkey.
Yeah.
And then there's also another one on September the 14th. So
Sweet.
the one this weekend is free.
Yeah.
And then the one on September the 14th will be like huge.
Yeah.
So that's when you're playing it.
I'm playing at both,
But
I'm playing the last 30 minutes each time.
So where's on the 14th? What venue's that at?
It's at East Street.
Oh, East Street. Okay.
Yeah, because they have like such crap speakers. That's why we moved, but now we're back and we're just going to hire a sound system. So
it's a cool place though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool place,
Awesome. Well, thank you very much again.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.